Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, you are awesome. Look at the size of you. Wow. Yeah, we're not doing that. Oh, yeah.
I'll do it.
Shh. Alright guys, Papa Pepper back once again. I am not at the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm actually at An American Homestead, but I prefer to call it Herper's Paradise. And the reason I like to call it Herper's Paradise is the wonderful things we find around here in this area. Last year we came out here and I think it might have been a little moister. There was a lot of really cool salamanders. I found my first, I think, western slimy salamanders ever. We had an F. There were some spotted salamanders, ringnecks, or I mean striped. Ring salamanders, that's what I'm talking about. But this year, it's been all about the snakes. It's been incredible. Before we even got here, if you saw from the opening footage, we found this beautiful rough green snake. So these guys are super cool, and you're not gonna find another snake in the area that looks like these. Farther north, we had the smooth earth snake. They stayed more on the ground and they would eat a lot of insects, which is why insecticides and pesticides and things are really bad for them. But here they've got the rough earth snake, which is longer, more slender, and these guys are more arboreal as well. And this one's an absolute beautiful one. If you look at the size of that, what a creature. So it was really chill when I picked it up on the road, and happy to see it. And when we got here, within the first hour, we had a handful of some pretty impressive little snakes. I'm gonna start showing some of those to you guys now. So, as is common across a lot of North America, the little garter snakes are out in effect right now too. These guys are cool, probably all born this year. They give live birth, and it was like 34 species, I think, of garter snakes and ribbon snakes, so very common. And remember, you know, anytime you see the black snakes with the yellow lines running the length of their body in North America, the native species, you're never going to have a venomous one. It's just not what venomous snakes look like, so please let these guys do their thing. These are just a couple of the little ones we found, but then we've also been finding some of the smooth earth snakes, which is exactly who these guys are. These guys I don't think I actually met until I came here last year, but since then we've actually found them on our property as well. There's a rough earth snake and a smooth earth snake, and the difference is going to be the scales. These ones have smooth scales. The rough earth snakes have keeled scales, but they're really cool little creatures. Fossorial snakes, so they spend a lot of time under the leaf litter, the forest floor, under logs, under rocks. Nice cream or yellowish bellies, and these guys are out in effect. I love them. These guys are freshly shed. They look amazing. Some really nice specimens to represent the species. So if you check this one out, this is another one of our favorites to find. It's a little ringneck snake. We had these in Wisconsin. I never even seen them the entire time. They got that beautiful orange belly with those black spots on it. The tail eventually goes into a red and a cute little ring around their neck. Definitely a cool snake to find, and another one we're happy to have located here. So got this cute little DeKay's brown snake too. It's just a tiny little thing, but a different species, and we were happy to see it cruising around here. Absolutely stunning snake. I'll probably try to roll some close-up footage of it for you guys. That'll give you a little better look at it. Really cool creatures. Glad we don't have to worry about the brown snakes in Australia. So along with those little garters, we did get a couple of big ones too, and I will tell you, well, I wouldn't say these are big, but they're larger. But I can tell you a story too about this one here. When we saw this one here, it was actually out at the forest floor, and it was eating a spring peeper, Pseudocris crucifer. And we were watching it just devour this thing, right? And it was me and some children and stuff. And then it swallowed it, and there was just a lot of kids running around, a lot of activity. So I was just gonna move the snake somewhere when you move a snake, when you pick up a snake, one thing that they commonly do is they will regurgitate. It's one of the defense mechanisms. So it actually puked the spring peeper back up, and then the spring peeper started hopping around and jumping on the ground, and you know, he's alive and well today. Snake didn't get its meal. It's still doing fine, and it'll have other opportunities. These will be back in the wild here soon enough, but just cool to see, happy to see, and yeah. These are commonly what people run into, what people see, but this is not all that we found. Let me introduce you to that little spring peeper first, and then I'll show you kind of the highlight of our time so far. So this little fella here is one I like to call Lazarus, because this spring peeper, just a tiny little tree frog you can often find on the forest floor, whoa, or on the camera lens around here. But yeah, he got eaten. He would have been done for. He gets a second chance at life. Sadly, the snake loses its meal for the night, but kind of cool story. Kind of interesting. I'm not sure if he's learned anything, but just part of the food chain, part of the circle of life. And I'm going to show you the highlight, which caught us by surprise just because it was kind of cruising through the middle of the open right after I was trying to teach some children and some people just some snake education, showing them some stuff, explaining them some stuff, debunking some myths, and just trying to equip them with knowledge so they didn't need to act out of fear, and that they could be safe when they're out in the wild. Wow. Crazy to think about. Into the belly of a snake and back. So the highlight so far has been this nice large black rat snake. Kind of cool. Actually, when we found him, Red Pepper found it, and they kind of called me over for an ID. Once I saw what it was, we let him catch it, and monster truck caught it. So pretty cool. Nice snake. It was, you know, defensive at first and opened its mouth and stuff. That's what they'll do, but it's chilled out a lot since then. And just a pretty impressive creature. Actually found a shed over 6 feet long that was broken off, so it never made it all the way up to the head even, at a job site recently. And I'm hoping I can make it back out there to see exactly what kind of the creature that was that came from it. I know it was a black rat snake. I just don't know how many feet long it was. You know, was it 7 feet long? Was it 8 feet long? We'll have to see, but this guy is kind of the highlight of the thing so far, so still got a bit of time here. I just wanted to share these guys with you, and I don't know, just kind of some of the cool things. Definitely not as many lizards as we saw last time. We have seen little brown skinks, fence lizards, and 5-line skinks. Last time we did see some broadhead skinks, and there was a lot of the fence lizards. But then this time we haven't really found any salamanders either, but kind of cool to see so many snakes. And this is kind of rattlesnake country too, to a degree. So I'm hoping at some point I can actually find a full-size rattlesnake and just encounter one in the wild. I've never seen it in my life. All the times I've been to Texas, Mexico, other places across the south, Louisiana and stuff, just haven't encountered them. So it'd be cool to see someday, but that's about it. We'll see what we come back with next time for you guys, but hopefully it wasn't too many snakes for some of you. Oh, I got one turtle I want to introduce you to too. You gotta see this turtle. So the particular part about this three-toed box turtle that I wanted to highlight was his eyes. If I can get a good shot of that for you, I'm not sure. I'm gonna head in without trying to spook him. Yeah, you might be able to see it now. Do you see that eye? Not sure if it's focusing well. Yeah. Do you see that eye? What a creature. Wow. Those eyes are absolutely amazing. I think I'm going to try a photo shoot with him with a macro lens, but what a creature. So cool to see. Rather intimidating for a turtle. But yeah. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this time. I'm going to get some of these turtles and snakes and stuff back to the wild. The more of them that are out there now, the more that'll be out there later. And make sure you guys are enjoying the time that you get with others and the real world around you too. Don't just get trapped in the digital, trapped in the city, trapped in the online or the televisions of things. We'll see you next time. Papa out. You know, the farther you get from the beginning, the closer you are to the end, and a lot of people are really feeling like we're heading into some end time events. The Bible has a lot to say about the future before it happens. Many of those prophecies have been fulfilled, but many are yet to come. One thing that I did a while ago was I was looking at some things that a lot of mainstream Christianity says about the end times, and as I studied scripture for myself, I found them to be kind of lacking or kind of taken out of context or slightly twisted. So one thing I did is I put together this resource called 50 Days to Understanding the End Times More Accurately. I took a lot of what I was seeing from scripture and I just made it where each day you can open, you've got some stuff over here and some stuff over here. That's your reading for the day. And in just 50 days, I think it'll open up your eyes to a lot of what scripture actually says that it seems people overlook sometimes. It's not very hard to read, it's pretty digestible, and at the end there's just a couple points usually on each page to make sure that whatever I was trying to bring out of the text, you didn't miss or overlook. It's a resource we put out a while ago, and I think it's all the more valid the closer that we get to the end. Many people who've read it already have really appreciated it, and we'll have a link in the description and probably the pinned comment where you can get this either directly from Amazon or from us on our Etsy shop. Be blessed.